Good evening, folks. Welcome to the guests at Great Scott. It's my album release show. It's called Sadly Sackerton. It's very sad. I'm really excited. Thanks everyone for coming out. If you're interested in buying the album, Alan and Matt are back there selling download cards. They're $10. You can also just go to deadmellow.com and buy it if you don't want a card cluttering up your life. And we're gonna have a really fun show tonight. I'm not exactly sure how it's gonna go, but I'm excited to find out. Before I get started though, I'm gonna ask everyone to please move forward. It's my big album release show. I'm a big star finally. But it doesn't feel great when the front row is mainly empty. So, thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And, welcome. It's my union brothers and sisters. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yes. Yeah. The union, like my album, is taking forever to actually happen, so we'll see. Speaking of my union brothers and sisters, I'm gonna begin the show first of all, just saying I'm recording this just for myself, really. So just the hand dryers are allowed. Don't use them. I forgot to get towels, but they're on the way. And if you have a cell phone, put it on silent. If you could refrain from bringing in bottles of wine and dumping them into the water cooler, I would appreciate it. And now I'd like to welcome the host of the show, one of my dearest friends in the world. He's one of the funniest comedians I know and one of the kindest people I know. Please put your hands together and give a warm welcome to the wonderful John Paul Rivera.
Thank you, everybody, for coming out to support Rob Crean. One more round of applause for Rob Crean. Wow, what a nice young man. Very young. I think he's 29 today. I believe it's his 29th birthday. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming out to support live performance and live comedy. We truly appreciate it. You guys could have been anywhere on the planet, but you guys chose to be here with us, so thank you. It's very cool. We're going to come out and support live performance. It's also extremely brave. It can be dangerous, coming out at night in the Boston area. Especially can be dangerous for white men. I don't know if anybody has heard this, but there are some who believe that there is an active serial killer targeting college-age white men in the Boston area right now. The so-called smiley face killer. There's a lot of young, college-age white men that are found floating in the bodies of water around Boston. There are people that are convinced that it's the work of a yet-to-be-captured serial killer. I happen to know that isn't true, because whenever I'm walking around Boston late at night and I see a guy who looks like he could be a serial killer, I shove him into the Charles River. And then I come wicked hard from the joy of protecting this gorgeous city from these serial killing monsters. I just see them all the time and I take them out. Because I'm protecting all of you guys, you young white men. The future, the past of this country. The past of this nation. I was making love to my wife last night. And after it was all over, she very pointedly told me, you didn't make me come. I said, I'm a feminist, babe. I don't make women do a damn thing, all right? You're a strong, independent woman. You need to get after it you need to get after it on your own. Because I am watching Frasier right now. This guy is hilarious. I can't get enough of this guy. It's good to be, I'm married, I'm not married, it's all made up. I don't have a wife. You think someone would marry a guy with hair like this? This is the receding hairline, but also long hair thing. I look like a arts professor on leave. I look like I'm on administrative leave for getting in a hot tub with a student. Nothing happened. My last girlfriend I dated, she was polyamorous. She would date multiple people at the same time, but she ended up dumping my ass because I'm Hispanic and she was looking to date a white guy. So as it turns out, Polly wants a cracker. That's what I said. And what always gets more acknowledgement than laughs. We're like, okay, we'll allow it. The girlfriend I had dated before that, she was 79 years old. She was a hot little number. a hot big number, really. A very big number, but very hot. She would actually wear adult diapers, but she wanted to be sexy, so they were adult diapers in a thong cut, which makes them very ineffective as diapers. They don't do the job. You cannot depend on thong diapers. That's gross, I know. I'm just trying to give voice to the voiceless. I was visiting a friend of mine recently. He was showing me all the cool stuff he's got in his apartment. He was like, check this out. This over here is my gaming computer. I was like, that's cool. He was like, check this out. He goes, these are my anime DVDs. I was like, all right, that's cool. And then he was like, check this out on the wall here. This is a samurai sword. And I was like, I don't know if that's a samurai sword, you know? I think maybe if a samurai owned it, it would be a samurai sword. But you're not a samurai. So right now, that is a Cinnabon manager sword. That is the sword of a Cinnabon assistant manager. It could have aspirations to become a samurai sword one day. I talked to my doctor recently. My doctor told me that I'm morbidly obese. Obese? I just invented a new word! Morbidly obese. He said I'm morbidly obese, and he said that if I continue on this life path, I'm looking at a shortened lifespan and very possibly amputated limbs due to diabetes. I said, don't worry about it, Doc. I just bought some Skechers Shape-Ups. I'm gonna be fine. You guys remember those stupid ass shoes? They were round on the bottom, and they made you skinny. They made you real skinny and hot. Apparently not, though. There's kind of a fun thought experiment that you hear all the time. People say if you could go back in time, and if you could, would you kill baby Hitler to avert the Holocaust? And I think that's actually an incredibly thought-provoking, interesting, revealing sort of thought experiment. I think it reveals a lot about people, you know, reveals that some folks, you know, hate Hitler, of course. They would go back in time and kill baby Hitler. Reveals that some folks hate the Jewish people. They would not go back in time and kill baby Hitler. But it reveals, I think, that everybody hates a fair fight. Nobody wants to go back in time and kill teen Hitler or like World War I veteran Hitler. Everyone's always like, let's go back in time and kill Hitler when he was a baby, when he had no opportunity to defend himself. I think it makes sense, though, you would do it that way, because it would just be really embarrassing, right? To go back in time to try to kill baby Hitler, or try to kill Hitler, and like he turns the tables on you and fucking kicks your ass. And you step back out of this temporal vortex and your chrono suit's all ripped up, you're crying, you get a black eye, you pissed yourself, and the Holocaust has still happened. Everyone's like, what happened? You're like, ironically, he used jujitsu on me. Who would have seen that coming? It's impossible. I couldn't have stopped it. There's no way for me to stop it. When Osama bin Laden was illegally assassinated by the U.S. government, they took his computer. And when they were going through his computer, they found all kinds of different files on there, including they found hentai on there. They found anime pornography on Osama bin Laden's computer. Specifically Final Fantasy VII hentai, if you guys are wondering. I looked into it. It was Final Fantasy VII. A man of taste, right? I don't even know why the US government would release that information. Why reveal that Osama bin Laden was just like all of us? What is the point of that? Why humanize a monster like that? Not a good move in my opinion. Keep that information private. You think I need to be wondering about if I'm masturbating to the same images as Osama bin Laden? These are thoughts that I can't control. It's very cool. Everyone come hang out tonight. We're going to have a great time. We got so many fun comics that are going to come here and tell you all kinds of hilarious jokes. We'll all have a great time. tell you a couple more things before I bring up your first wonderful comedian. I don't like to get real political when I go on stage. I mean, I did just claim that the U.S. government illegally assassinated Osama bin Laden, so I guess that's not really true, but that's how the start of this goes, so I'll just pretend I didn't do that. I don't like to get real political, I don't think that, I want everyone to have a good time, whether you're a Trump-supporting monster or a regular person, I like to be a real milquetoast, So even though the U.S. government and the U.S. people are extremely divided right now, I think that there is one political issue that people can sort of come together on. I think that even though the electorate and the people in the United States are very divided, I think we can all agree that it has become time to take down the remaining no rollerblading signs in the United States. I think that we can all agree that there was a crisis, but that it has passed. We all remember those dark days, you can't even get into the grocery store, just rollerbladers circling the door. They knock the milk out of your hands and they call you a slur. It's crazy, it was nuts. But thankfully, we've gone beyond that and everything is right as rain these days. Osama bin Laden is dead and we've confiscated his hentai. And all is right with the world. Guys, we have such a fantastic comedy show. Can you guys give me a round of applause for a great comedy show? Oh, I'm so excited to bring some of these comics up. They're hilarious. They're going to have a great time telling you jokes. You're going to have a great time listening to jokes. I command it. Your first comic come to the stage, one of the people that has been working with Rob to put out this album that is released today, a hilarious comedian, a wonderful guy. Please welcome to the stage, Alan Richardson, everybody.
So much harder to cry while you're standing up, right? All right, ladies, where's my ladies at? Ladies, this one's for the fellas. Fellas, tell me, where's the fellas at? Fellas, tell me, we're deciding to masturbate sitting down. Right? Because it's so much harder to cry while you're standing up, right? All right, fellas, tell me, you ever decide to just puke while you're standing there? Because you're too goddamn fat to lay down in your own tub anymore? Where's my fellas at? Ooh, thank you, fellas. Thank you. I am Alan Richardson. Hello, thank you all so much for coming out. A few things about me. I owe $1,500 in taxes. I recently cried watching a wrestling match. And I have a tattoo of a butt with a tattoo of a butt on it. On my butt. It's really great that I found 3 facts that really sum me up as a person. Here's the sad thing. I used to say wrestling documentary, but then I watched that match. And I fucking cried watching that wrestling match. I live with my mom. That's fine. It's not all wrestling for me. I do a lot of reading. You guys... That was... Cool to know that was a joke. Last presidential election, I don't like to get political on Facebook, but I posted, yeah, I'm gonna go vote, then I'm gonna friggin' read a book, and the amount of messages of people being like, dude, you have to vote. I was like, oh no. This is the public image I've put out there. Spot on. What I did read was a study about heroin recently. We all know it, right? Everyone heroin, yeah? Okay, yes. You know, everyone gets so mad at heroin when it kills your friends and family, you know, but everybody loves jazz, you know? But a little hypocritical. But I was reading a study about heroin, and it said that the brainwave equivalent of the moment of injection of heroin is equivalent to a male ejaculating for 30 minutes straight.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Who decided that study should happen? Who was like, hey, you know what's not out there right now? A study that shows heroin's fucking awesome. You know? Because I never want to do heroin. I read that, it's just like, why? How'd you even come up with that experiment? You know, like, was there just a dude shooting up in an MRI tube, and they're like, wow, look at that, look at that. Like, hey, Bob, what do you got going on there? Oh, we're make Greg jerk off in this tube. It's like, oh, might as well just compare them. You know, like, did they just like find a junkie, and they're like, hey, Eric, what's heroin like? And he's like, oh, shit. It's like watching an entire episode of Frasier. But you're coming the whole time. You know, because I read that study, and I never wanted to do heroin before, but I read that, and I was like, shit, 30 minutes? I got nothing going on Tuesday, you know? I'll sell my mom's jewelry, watch the whole series, you know what I'm saying? It got like a little too real for people with families in New England. We'll lighten the mood. This is good. I only got a little bit of time here. I'll do some impressions for you guys. Do you guys like impressions? Woo! We'll bring you back up for heroin. This is the Narcan impressions segment. I'm not gonna do an impression of Narcan. I don't have that much energy. But so this first impression I'll do for you is this is my impression of Dracula eating week-old mac and cheese. Blah. Got through that one. I thought heroin was divisive. Try Dracula eating mac and cheese. I'll do another impression. This one is a band that I think should exist, called the Red Hot Woody Allens. You know what I gotta get to put it in you, you know? What I gotta give it to your papa, you know? I don't want to feel, you know, like I did that day. It's funny because no matter who you offend in that joke, they're not real people. So it's either a fucking rapist or Woody Allen. I don't know why I said that. We'll do an even dumber impression to make up for that stupid comment. So this is a band I think should exist. This is more like, this is an ex-girlfriend of mine saying this band's lyrics to me in her own reimagining ways. This is my ex-girlfriend reimagining Offspring lyrics. Give it to me, baby. I am. Not a good lover. All right, I'll end this set with I'll do a classic joke to close this out here. Classic joke. Sing along if you know the words. I went to a doctor recently because I was feeling down. I went to the doctor. He said, "Hey, what's up?" He said that more in a medical way, but essentially said, "Hey, what's up?" And he said, "You know, I feel so depressed, and I feel alone and scared in a world that doesn't feel like it wants me here, and the future seems so cold and uncertain. I just don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know my place in this world anymore, and I just feel so scared all the time." And the doctor, he says, "Oh, your cure is simple. Alan Richardson's in town this weekend. Go see him. He's gonna cheer you right up." And I put my head in my hands and I cried. I said, but doctor, I am Alan Richardson. And he said, oh, I'm sorry, I got your charts mixed up. You've got HPV. Ugh. There's no cure for that, but good luck Friday, you know? All right, thank you all so much. Bring it back up to your host.
That was Alan Richardson, everybody. One more round of applause for Alan Richardson. Hell yes. We're gonna keep things rocking and rolling right along. Your next comic come to the stage. This guy is absolutely hilarious. Very funny guy. He's performed on TV, Craig Ferguson's show and stuff like that. And he's gonna come out here and tell you jokes right now. Please welcome with a thunderous round of applause, Dan Bulger, everybody.
Fucking sweet roadieing. Thanks, it's great to be here at this album release / Frasier themed comedy show. Fucking great. I never knew such kindred spirits. I never know what to do with my tossed salads and scrambled eggs. I just came here to get the CD, but it's a fucking postcard. I don't know what that is. I'm sure I'll put it in my CD player. Create a fire. Yeah, no, I don't know what any of that shit. I don't know fucking technology at all. I'm a sneaky old. I'm 34, so I'm halfway to either dying or running for president. I'm about halfway to dead, I think. That might even be optimistic. I don't know if this bodes well for my general health, but for the last 2 months, every time I start laughing, I immediately cough. And also the only way I can get hard is through fear. So let's hope this goes well. I'm starting to make some adult decisions on like purchases. Like the other day I was at Rite-Aid. I bought Band-Aids, which don't get me wrong, I got those before. But this is the first time I ever bought Band-Aids while not bleeding. Because time has come and gone, and I've come to learn, you know, it's like just because you're not bleeding now. It's like, just because the land is dry don't mean the flood ain't a-coming. Oh, I bought 8 bars of soap? That's pretty good. Before that I was 1 bar of soap, but 8 bars of soap? Fucking, that's a man that sees the future. But I'm still nervous going to a doctor and be like, I just look at your CAT scan, you have 8 hours to live, how are you going to spend it? And I'll be like, showering vigorously. Or maybe I'll make a will. I don't know, I'm still single. I went on a date last week. I don't know if comedians ever broach the subject. First dates are tricky. You're gonna dance or just be excited? I don't want to be excited. Like, how about instead of like going dancing or drinking, like how about she can just like watch me get my car towed? I'm like, yeah, you handled that well. But I don't know how the fuck it worked out. I did the old, hey, I got weed in the car move. So then we made out in the car. That's like the closest a girl can come to signing a waiver. It's like weed in the car. So then we make out, and then I didn't see her until like last night. And then, but through a series of texts and pictures, it seemed like unless I brought her to like a pro-life rally for pulled pork sandwiches, we were gonna have sex. But then, so I'm in a great mood all day, right? An hour before we're gonna meet up, she sends me a text message that says, hey, when you see me, before you say anything, just whisper in my ear something you always wanted to do to somebody. So then I went from like in a great mood to like, fuck, I gotta come up with something. So I was like brainstorming, and I'm like, well, I have a weak stomach, so swings are out. History has proven I can't pull off leather. So So I had to what I finally settled upon, and I feel more uncomfortable than you feel hearing this. But what I finally settled upon was I'd kind of like to watch her like play with herself, which says a lot about me. Like, my biggest fantasy is to do nothing. And like, it's not like just with sex. It would be like, if I can ever afford a horse, I wouldn't get one unless I could also get a little guy to watch the horse. Alright, well, that story is why I left my house. I don't know if you have any other ideas. Thanks for coming out, everybody. Have a good night.
Dan Bolger, everybody, from the television set to right in front of your adorable faces. We have come to that time, folks. I'm about to bring up the man of the hour. You guys ready for that? Yeah, that's what I like to hear. This guy, an absolute American treasure. He's hosted an open mic for 125 years here in Boston and shepherded the beginnings of many young comics who have gone on to do things that he could never dream of doing himself. He's an absolutely wonderful guy. He's one of the closest friends I've ever had, and he's done more for me than I could ever repay. Please on this stage, the hilarious Rob Crean, everybody.
Oh man, so true. I have shepherded so many comics that wanted to do things I could never imagine doing. My album is out today. I could never imagine that. Earlier I realized that my dream was always just to be thanked on a comedy album. That's what I've been like my whole life. I've always had very low expectations. You know, like when you ask a kid what they want to do when they grow up, and they'll be like, I want to be a fireman or a cowboy. My answer was always, I like to be like a guy who works at a store. But then, like, I became a teenager and I achieved that goal. but my dreams didn't get much bigger from there. Because when I was a teenager, I worked at a bad store. People would say, what would you love to do? And my answer was, I would like to work in a better store. And then I did. I accomplished all my dreams. But it's true, John Paul mentioned that I host an open mic. We hosted an open mic together for 8 years. And if you don't know what I mean by an open mic is like it's like a comedy show. It looks like a comedy show, you know. It's like have you ever been walking down the street at night and you see a black cat crossing the street, and then you realize, oh, that's not a black cat. That's a skunk. That's what an open mic is like compared to a comedy show. Like, it looks like a comedy show, but it stinks. It's a place where we allow sociopaths to get on stage and talk about their dicks for 4 minutes at a time. But I'm very excited to have this album out. It's taken a long time because I'm very bad at this sort of thing. The album was recorded in September of 2018, so that's took a while. And that wasn't even the first attempt at recording it. I had attempted to record it earlier in June of 2018, and it did not go well. The show started, John Paul was hosting, he was doing a great job like he did tonight. And I get on stage, I start recording my heartfelt debut album about heartbreak and mental illness. And probably about 3 minutes in, a friend of mine who's a local comedian who has also been dealing with some mental illness comes through the doors, rushes past the door people up to this water jug here, opens it, and tries to dump 2 bottles of wine into the water bottle. And Chris, one of the bartenders who's working tonight, was also working then, and he said something along the lines of, don't do that. I didn't ask him for his exact words. It was something like that. The young comic who's going through a spell there, then had a back and forth with Chris for a while. He thought he should be allowed to dump wine in the water. But Chris was adamant that that not be allowed. Meanwhile, it's my big break on stage. My big break I gave myself. I'm recording my debut comedy album of heartbreak and mental illness. And I said to the comic, I said, hey, recording an album up here. And he said, it's cool, man, just got out of the mental hospital having electroshock therapy. I feel fresh as a daisy. And I was like, great. You are being kind of loud, though. And then we had a little bit of a back and forth. And then he charged the stage. I should mention he's 6'5". I'm just under that. I am literally a foot shorter than that. I'm 5'4", so he is an inch taller than me, and also a foot on top of that. So he charges the stage. John Paul, just like Harrison Ford in Clear and Present Danger, jumps in front of the stairs here, blocking them, protecting me, and then escorts the young comic out. And Angela Sawyer, who's here someplace, Angela in the dark. She said that as John Paul was escorting this comic out, he says, "Great, now I look crazy." But it finally happened. I recorded the album. It's out today. I haven't actually tried to download it, so maybe it's all a joke. But I think it's on there. I don't know. Maybe it'll be like Billy Joel, and like, you know, Billy Joel's first album came out, and it was like mastered wrong, so his voice sounded really high pitched. I would hate if I listened to my album, my voice sounded really high pitched. If I listened to my voice and I was like, why do I sound like a Muppet? Oh, it's fine? That's just how I sound? Cool. I just sound like a Muppet. Let me look at this, check this video. Why do I look like a Muppet? Oh, that's just how I look. I look and sound like a Muppet. Great. But yeah, so my album's out today. I'm very excited about it. And I'm very grateful for so many people, including Dead and Mellow, Matt and Alan, for putting this album out. They did a lot of the work that I never would have done because I would have gotten scared. And they're a great label. They only have 2 releases out. They have their own release, which is called Sad Man, and then my release, which is called Sadly Sackerton. Dead and Mellow. They've got a consistent brand. You got to give them that. They're a great label, but they're small. This is only their 2nd release. They don't have a lot of resources, and so growing up, you know, I would always see when someone would have a new album up, they would go on talk shows like Good Morning America, and they would be interviewed about the album, and I am kind of sad that I'm not going to get that opportunity to do something like that. And so I decided what I would do is I would have some friends try and make that a reality for me. So, I'm going to move the stage around just a minute here. 1 second. Please welcome my dear friends, Katie McCarthy and Nick Orlando.
Hello, folks. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome.
Welcome to Good Times, Plaid Times. Yes. Northern Washington's only television show. We're doing good here tonight.
There's a reason we're
How's everybody doing? It's 4:13 in the morning. How is everyone?
You all look beautiful.
Wonderful, you're doing great. Well, we have a special guest with us tonight, some kind of entertainer of some kind. He claims to have big things on the horizon. Yeah.
I'm excited to have him. I
Yeah.
like big things.
Yeah, let's please welcome to the show. Let's welcome to the show, Rub Cream. Rub Cream.
Good morning.
Nice to meet you, Rubber.
Good morning. It's weird being up this early.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's what successful people do, and so great for you to have you here today. Now, what is it exactly that you do? I've heard you're some kind of a funny performer. You like a type of a jazz clown? Is that what you?
It's not far off. I would say I'm a stand-up comedian. I tell jokes and stories.
That's a shame.
I thought he was a puppet.
I get that a lot, yeah.
You do have puppet-like proportions.
That's true.
You're also quite hirsute.
That's true.
Have you ever tried being a puppet? Have you ever tried?
Well, I just know where to start.
I mean, that sounds like a failure on your part. I think you start by having a little initiative, am I right?
I think you gotta oil up down there. That's how you start. You get a good start. That was a very classy joke.
We kept it classy. Like the people that got it. And other people just they were like, they just flew over their heads. They didn't even notice.
Is that the kind of comedy we can expect from the album?
No, I work clean.
So, tell me about this album you have coming out. What's this name? Sadly Sackerton. Yeah.
Yes, Sadly Sackerton. It's an album about me going through a breakup, which was initiated because of a refusal of me to get mental health care, and then so dealing with the breakup, and then also starting to get mental health care for the first time in my life at the age of 40.
Wow.
So let's give him a round of applause for realizing he was failing so long. Turn around.
That is incredible. And you think that this is something that people will like?
I think it's something that people will find interesting, you know?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's like, like, a lot of comedy albums are fun to just put on and listen to. But then my comedy album is more like, it's like a Holocaust movie where like, you don't want to listen to it, you want to just have already listened to it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, the word you would use is bleak, I
Bleak,
imagine.
yes, bleak, hopeless.
The bleak comedy of Rubber Cream.
That's right.
That's great. It's so great to watch young fellas like you get into things like this. Now, how long have you been doing it?
I've been doing stand-up comedy for about 15 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you started when you were
My
60?
early 30s, yeah. I started in my late 20s, and I'm now in my early
That's great.
40s.
That's great.
Yeah.
Wow, and you've made it all the way here. That's something, isn't it?
Yeah, it's something.
Yeah.
Could I just say, Nick, I just want to say, you have a chin that really doesn't so much have a chin line as
I don't
much
like
as
this, Rob.
It just fades out.
Is this the whole reason
like
you had me do
Andy's
this?
song at the end of Bruce Springsteen's
Rob,
Born to
is
Run,
it-
which is funny because you assume it would be his nose that was born to run.
That is the reason why you brought us up.
It's not, but I
Were you in
had
on
to-
this?
No,
I wish
get
I
back
was.
let's get
I
back to
have
this case.
feelings. He hates it. You do it to him
That's a joke that
every
Nick
time.
wrote that I think he should do, and he doesn't. like Mickey on spit. Give it over for Danji, who engineered my album, by the way.
Thank you, Daniel. So when exactly is this album being released?
It's being released today. And it's on Apple Music or other places. But the best place to get it is deadandmellow.com, which is the label's website. Great couple real nice
Can you say
guys.
the name of the website one more time for the good people in the audience?
Deadandmellow.com.
Deadandmellow.com. It's just wow, you people seem a bastion of positivity.
I think being dead is like the ultimate mellow.
It really is. It really is.
You're chilling.
A day we can't wait for, right? Can't come quick enough. Am I right? Yeah. Well, that's great. Now, are you planning any kind of tour or any kind of promotion? Maybe some kinds of festivals or things like that you're gonna do?
Well, I'm going to be going to Los Angeles in a couple weeks.
And where is that?
It's in California.
Oh, that one.
I don't have any shows booked yet. So if you guys know anyone,
No.
I could really...
No, we're here. We don't know anyone.
I do know one person in Los Angeles.
Okay.
Named
Who's that?
Garvey Personberg.
Oh, Garvey Personberg. Famous comedian Garvey Personberg?
Actually, I think he was in town recently. I took a picture of him. I'm gonna send you this picture of Garvey I found recently, so that we can enjoy a joke just us on stage. Where did I put? There it is, right there. Yep, there we go. And
The joke is when you find a pair of loose underwear on the ground, you text Garvey Personberg and say, "You in town?" It's loose underwear, just loose
Yes.
underwear on the
And
street. You don't see this, people?
Not just loose underwear, but also just if you see shit. Especially if it really looks like it might be human. You take a picture, send it to Gary, and you say, "Hey man, you in town?" And he either doesn't respond at all, or responds, "You idiot."
I'm realizing now I might have misinterpreted this joke.
Really? What was your interpretation?
I thought it was underwear.
Oh, that he was the underwear?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I just think...
Well,
when Gary's in town, he's throwing underwear all over the place.
well, turns out somebody's just been sending you pictures of loose underwear for no reason, and I mean, not me. We just clearly met. And
The last time you sent me the picture, I sent Gary a screen cap of our text exchange with that picture, and then he responded, "You both deserve each other."
that is true. We both deserve this weirdly toxic relationship.
It's true, we do have a weirdly toxic relationship. You kind of took Gary's place, because I used to always love to give Gary terrible intros.
That's true.
One time, Gary came to my mic, and I introduced him as, "Please welcome to the stage, Gary Big Dick Peterson." And Gary didn't miss a beat. He got on stage and just he just got up on stage, grabbed the mic and said, "Y'all ready to get fucked by the big dick?" And then just went into a set. It was great.
Now, you've actually given a lot of comedy nicknames in your time, haven't you?
So true, yes.
Run
Well,
down some of your famous comedy open mic hosting nicknames.
some of my famous ones, let's see. There's a comedian, Liam McGurk, who I run shows with. We're the Mean Clique of Boston Comedy and Comedy. Yeah, we're the Mean Clique. His nickname is Irish O'Neill. There's also a comedian named Irish O'Neill. His nickname is Liam McGurk. Let's see, who else? Let's see, Chloe Cunha is someplace. Chloe Cunha, who is of French descent. Her mean comedy nickname is 30-Hour Work Week.
Did you ever give Andrew Durso any nicknames?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, yes, that's right. I did give Andrew Durso
Because he had a whole stable of
He
them at one
loved to
point.
give himself nicknames. Andrew Durso
that
gave himself
makes sense.
nicknames like Barnyard.
Barnyard, that was a good one.
The Dirt Dog, Dirt Dick.
Dirty Dog, Dirt Dick.
Dirty Dog, Dirt Dick. My nickname for Durso, and I would bring him on stage, is I would have the audience, I would cut the audience in half, and I would have this side of the audience say his last name, Durso, and I would have this side say Crazy. This is stupid because he's not here, but let's do it. Ready? Durso crazy, Durso crazy. very stupid.
Yeah. Seems like you have to make a lot of fun for yourself.
I certainly do. It's a bleak life.
All right, so what's next on the comedy horizon?
Oh, I have my second album coming out in June.
Turn them around that quickly. 2 albums in 15 years. It's pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good. This first album was recorded in 2018, but the album that's coming in June was recorded in 2016. So that one's going to be called Local Personality, and it's just normal jokes. It's not sad.
Now, is it normal for people to record albums in this venue and then just not release them for long periods of time?
Yes, it is.
No.
Yes, it absolutely is. For instance, Nick Ortolani recorded an album here and never released it. Garvey Persenberg, Nick Chambers, Jordan Hammond Seavey, Emily Ruskowski. The only person who's released an album recorded here so far is Will Newman. And
why do you think that is?
I think I'm cursed.
Judging by the stunned reaction, I think people agree.
This is the thing. This is the other reason that I think that I might be cursed. Is this is a little bit personal, but when I masturbate, when the stuff comes out, it flies up in the air and goes ooh. There may be like a medical reason for it, and it's not magical, but it seems like it might be a curse.
Nobody likes it when you do your act on panel.
So Nick, you work with kids.
I won't let you bait me.
Okay.
What a great bit of improv that was. So Nick, no.
Yeah, we're not improvisers, we're stand-up comedians.
Yeah.
Improvisers are yes and comedians are no, but
Yes, most of us here have talked to Rick Jenkins.
yes.
It's a big thing he likes to say.
He does like to say it.
Rick
He
Jenkins.
also, people ask him, where do I get the people to be the fake interviewers on the show? Great example. Nick Orlani, I met taking pictures of underwear in the street. That's another
Your Rick
ridiculous
Jenkins,
thing.
your Rick Jenkins is very Woody Allen.
Oh, I think my impression of you is more Woody Allen.
Your impression of me is very much Woody Allen.
Yeah, alright. I'm not gonna do it though.
Oh, come on, give the people a little
There's
impression.
already been one Woody Allen impression on this show, and I plan on doing a Red Hot Chili Peppers joke later, so I feel like I will do my Frasier though, of course.
You are now. If I remember correctly, you are very well known for your impressions, aren't you?
Oh, sure, yeah, you go to YouTube, you Google in Rob Crean impressions.
Just do the fucking thing.
Yeah, I'll do an impression. Alright, I'll do an impression of local comedian Andrew Mayer bombing. This is Andrew Mayer having a bad set. And this is why it's notable is that happens very rarely. And so when it does, he's just very confused. So this is Andrew Mayer bombing.
I'm sure the good people in the audience tonight are thrilled by all this inside baseball we're mentioning. Now, why don't we tell them all about Mark the Shark while we're at it?
Mark the Shark was a
Yeah, that's
young
real inside
man who turned out to be an old rapist.
Wow, Rob, you really could have told me that off stage.
No, he was.
I don't
he
like
got-
learning things,
yeah.
and especially in
I'm sorry.
character.
That's not true. That's not true. He was really young.
Oh, this is great. We are having fun today. It looks like we got a call coming in. We got
a call coming in.
Yeah.
Great.
We got a call from Peace Patch wearing guy. Hey, you're on Good Times, Bad Times. You got a question for Rob Cream? Well, you called us. Your first time outside? How long have you been doing this? I know we asked that earlier, but maybe it's changed.
About 15 years so far tonight.
Cool.
Nice.
Don't you just love...
The bathroom's over there.
Don't you just love live performance?
I do. That was great that it just like, the drink spilled. It happens. But it just kept spilling. Just...
Yeah, I have expected to look over there and see one of those like infinity fountains.
Yeah. I feel like the person who spilled it just didn't want to make any more of... They didn't want to be more of a distraction, so they were like, I'll get it later. Just left it and just slowly drained all the way out.
So,
It's haunted.
It's haunted. Oh, sorry.
well, you clearly have a question.
I didn't know if that was some of your haunted
Oh, that's
sauce. Haunted sauce.
No, it's not so much liquidy as it is goopy.
Yeah, that would have a different sound.
Now,
That's not, that part's normal.
I think, yeah. Right.
now, tell me, is comedy your full-time bag?
Great question. I
know.
do some other stuff. I'm a tour guide. A lot of my tour guide union brothers and sisters are here tonight. I'm also I'm a Amazon Big Pharma spokesboy.
What are some of the other accomplishments? I hear that you are, what does it say here? Stubbs A-list member? Is that true? You're a Stubbs
It's
A-list
not a big
member.
deal.
AMC
It's
Stubbs
not a
A-list.
big
No, give it up for him. He's a
It's not a
Stubbs.
big deal.
AMC Stubbs A-list member.
Big deal. I'm a Stubbs AMC A-list member, which basically means I pay a monthly fee and I can see up to 3 movies every week for free. So if anyone wants to go to a movie, my ticket is free.
That's great. What a generous man you are.
Thanks.
Love Stubbs.
Love it. Stubbs.
We got stubheads in the house.
Stubhead. Make noise if you're a stubhead. Make noise if you're a A-list stubhead.
Clearly a man of the people.
That's right.
Well,
I think we agree.
sorry, I just thought what I'd have to do when my parents die.
Oh man, I'll tell you, it is a nightmare.
Right.
Oh boy. Yeah. Oh, forgot. Sadly, Sackerton's an orphan. Who would have guessed?
Well, sometimes you grasp at straws, and sometimes that straw is a snake.
Oh man. Yeah, there are a lot of tough things about when your parents die. Yeah, I mean, probably, I think that we all know what the worst thing is about when your parents die is that feeling of being untethered and floating in space alone. It's the worst part. But also, I mean, funeral home costs, come on, guys.
I was gonna say not getting laid.
You should talk to him about his relationship with his parents.
He's very close.
I know they're very close. I didn't know
Very
that.
close.
Very close.
I think my favorite part of your mom dying piece of shit. We went to that little bar afterward and we played those little casino games.
Oh,
That was
yeah.
fun.
That was fun.
We played pool and
Yeah.
darts and,
And
we fucking
shuffleboard.
rocked.
It was great. That part was fun. My mother and my grandmother died the same week, which is crazy. It was really, I mean, you can imagine, it was really like a...
Did you get 2 for 1?
I will say, that wasn't the joke I was gonna do, but they did, their funerals were at the same funeral home, which is and honestly, before that, I'd always, I spent so much time there. Honestly, before that, I'd always just thought of it as like a funeral house.
Wait, you hung out at the funeral home?
Yeah, I was there for a long time. I had 2 funerals in 1 week.
Oh, I thought you meant you were just, that was like your hangout spot in your hometown.
No, my grandmother and my mother died the same week, so I was
Right.
there.
I only listen to 40% of what you say.
I get that a lot.
I feel the need to clarify that I love you.
I think you're okay.
See, there it is.
But I love Katie.
It's true. Now you understand where the dynamic comes from.
No, I love you too, Nick. You know that. Oh, yeah. We're little sweeties.
There's audible booze in the background.
Is that just for
And
emotion, or is it just for emotion, positive emotion towards Nick?
Well, it's both because I know who it's coming from.
Who is it? Is it Tom?
It's definitely Tom.
Yeah, Tom. Tom, Boston's poster boy for toxic masculinity, didn't like the tender moment we shared. What a shock.
I think I do a pretty good impression of Tom's laugh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I gotta tell you, I love hearing it. Yeah, see, there it is. It's an earned laugh. I love hearing it. It's one of my favorite sounds.
One time there was a show, I was hosting a show here, and Dan Crone, who's a great local comedian, was up, and he told this joke where he said, I like dating younger women because they're hotter longer. And no one laughed, except Tom McDonald and my much younger girlfriend. So it was like no laughter, and then just, It was great.
We are learning a lot about you.
Yeah. I'm dating female Tom McDonald.
Well, I guess a natural follow-up question is, are you safe?
Nick. None of us are safe ever. I could go at any time.
Well,
That was good.
what better night?
I guess I should probably do some stand-up comedy jokes, right?
Yeah, if you want.
I don't know. What do you guys think? Should we keep doing this, or should?
I think we agreed we'd stop when it stopped being fun.
It's still fun, I guess. Should we keep going? Let's do a little bit of this for a while.
All 3 of you do it.
Yeah, Katie did some song.
I have to say, when you 2 Irish people impersonate spaghetti, I feel like it's cultural appropriation.
No, you don't get it, Nick. I finally became a puppet.
Ah. Oh boy. Well, you can do some jokes for us?
Yeah, I'll do some jokes.
Wonderful. Would you like to hear the man do some jokes?
Give it over these knuckleheads. Nick Yachts, Nick Ortolani, and Katie MC, Katie McCarthy. All right. This show's weird so far, huh? Now I'm just gonna go into some regular stand-up comedy jokes. It's kind of weird to do it, but here we go. Do you guys know Tom York? You know from Radiohead? Do you guys know that guy? Tom York. He's got a solo band, Tom York, from Radiohead. And I was reading about one of the guys in the band. There's this guy who's in Tom York's band. He's very interesting to me. He's American. He's like a musician. He's a professional musician. He plays in Tom York's band. But also, he's like kind of an actor. Like, do you know that movie Queen Slim that came out a little bit ago? He's in that. But also, he's in Back to the Future 2. But this is the weirdest thing about this guy, is he's this professional musician, he's in his 50s, but he's been playing in this like stupid joke band since he was a teenager. and him and his like high school buddies or whatever, they still like get together and they'll like make these stupid joke records. Then they like go out and tour as this stupid joke band. They're so stupid. You can look them up online. They're called the Red Hot Chili Peppers. They're so stupid. It's like dang-a-dong, dang-a-dang-a-dong. I do it better than they do it, for sure. I'm a sexy person. Very sexy. And you know, some of you might see that. Likely. Most of you do not, and that's okay, you know. I'm not for everyone. My sexiness is like cilantro, you know. Some people love it. Other people are like, you just taste like soap to me, you know. Except for that's not really true though, because like most people like cilantro. My sexiness really is more like the regional soft drink Moxie. Moxie, it's a soda from Maine that tastes like if you accidentally took someone else's medicine. That's the type of sexiness I have. Not enjoyed by many. Certainly almost exclusively by people from New England. Maybe one weird lady from Florida who's obsessed with the Kennedys. That's the type of sexiness I bring to the table. But I am sexy. I'm very sexy. I like to. Dan was talking about sexy talk. Do you guys like sexy talk? Make noise if you like talking during sex. Okay, talk to people. Make noise if you don't like talking during sex. That seems sarcastic, you know? I feel like people that don't like talking during sex would be less vocal than that. But I don't know how that's sarcastic. Like, boo, I don't like it, or boo, I do like it, or boo, I don't even know. I'm just trying to figure out who I am. I like it myself. I like talking during sex. When I first started having sex, though, I was very bad at it. Well, when I first started having sex, I was bad at all of it. You know, I think, which I think is fair. You know, I think we're all bad at sex when we first start. It'd be weird if you were just a fuck master right out of the gate. You know, you're like, you start bad, and then like you stay bad for a while. You stay bad because no one will tell you that you're bad. Like, men won't tell you that you're bad because men are just happy to be in the room, you know? And women won't tell you they're bad because women just tend to be polite. I don't know, this is coming from my, like, cis male perspective, but I feel like, especially with, like, oral sex, like, I think, like, men can be, like, super confident about it before they ever do it. Like, this is true of all things, I guess, but specifically I'm talking about oral sex. Is men just assume they're going to be great at stuff before they ever try it, you know? Like, I think a lot of guys, before they ever perform oral sex on a woman, they're just like, yeah, man, I'm just going to, like, get in there. I'm just going to be, like a tonguesman, you know? Like, and it just takes a while, as a cis man, for you to find a woman that is self-possessed and confident enough to just be like, nope. Right there, forever. It just takes a while. But when I first started having sex, I was bad at the talking part. When I first started having sex, my talking was a lot like this. Well, like what I'm doing now. Like John Paul Rivera's one of my closest friends. Keep it going for Nick Orlandi's chin, stuff like that. I've gotten much better. I've gotten much better. I'm very good at it now. Very good. Can I share? I'll prove it. I'll share with you something I've been doing lately that's been working very well. Now, I want to warn you, this is very sexy. This is very sexy. So if anyone does not want me to do this joke, I will stop right now. Consent is important. Is everyone cool with this? All right. So this is what I'm doing. I'm doing very sexy. What I'm doing, so I'll be with this lady. She'll be atop, astride. I look up, look her up, I look right in the eyes. I look her right in the eyes. It's very sexy. I look her right in the eyes. Right in the eyes. It's very sexy, and I say, I'm not afraid of you. Looks great. Works very well. Fellas in the room. Fellas! Yeah? Do you like Frasier? Fellas, do you hit on women?
Yeah.
Who said yes?
Woo-woo!
Do you?
Yes.
What do you do? How do you do it?
Kindly.
Okay. Good start. But like, how do you, like, what's your how do you open?
Love to speak to you. You're beautiful.
Okay, does it work?
More often than not, but not great.
That's fair. I can't figure out how to do. I've tried it before when I was young. I would be at a bar, and one of my friends would say, "You think that girl's pretty? You should talk to her." And I'd say, "Ah," and then they would convince me, and so I'd go over to the lady and I would say, "How's it going?" And she would say, "Fine." I'd say, "Well, have a good night." I don't know how to do it. I saw a guy hitting on a woman recently. It was a comedy show with a friend of mine who's a comedian, and this guy was trying to hit on her. It was going very poorly. He kept making offers, and she kept giving him nothing. And finally, he says, he knew she was a comic, so he says, "Hey, did you see that movie Joker?" I feel like, guys, can we agree to not begin a conversation with a woman by bringing up the official incel movie of 2019? And also, in that movie, he does do stand-up. But it's not like the main thing that he does, you know? It's like, I love those Star Wars movies. Darth Vader? Great pod racer. That's why I like the dating apps. You guys, anyone here try these dating apps? Alright. I feel like that's low. I feel like maybe some of you are holding out on me, but it's okay. Have you guys had good experiences or bad experiences? The best? What are some of your best experiences? Varied? Oh, varied, you said. Okay. Well, like, what's your best case, worst case? Well, I'm not saying like hypothetical. These are things that have happened to you. So one of the best online date you ever went on, you ended up married. The worst, you died. Well, congratulations on both those things. The marriage and getting better from the death. That can be, I mean, that's 2 in the win column if you ask me. Death by marriage? All right, cool. I'm gonna move on. Anyone else have any experiences they want to tell me about? Marriage? So you met what the app? What platform? Tinder? Cool. And you met a person that you married. Oh, about to get married. Cool. So it still could. Look, it took me a year to get this album out. I mean, you guys are probably smarter than me. So yeah, when are you getting married? August. That's cool. Congratulations. That's awesome. Cool. So how long have you been together? 4 years? All right, cool. That's a good amount of time. I'm really glad that you weren't like, this is our 4th date. We figured, why not? You know? That's cool. So you met, what was your first date? Oh, wow. That's cool. That's you really threw him into the fire. So this guy, you've never met him before, he comes over to your home with a bunch of your friends, and you're like, this dickhead from the internet. And your date was cool with it? It went okay? Did you feel really awkward and uncomfortable at the time? So this is probably this is great for you right now, right? I'm pretty unimposing, right? Yeah. Oh. Yeah, if you hate this, just tell me and I'll move on to You do? Are you being sarcastic? I can't. Why did I lose the ability to understand sarcasm? Now I'm gonna have to take my fluent sarcasm off of my Tinder profile. Turns out I wasn't fluent. I was basically a beginner. I can ask. I can say like, "Where's the library?" and stuff like that. Yeah, I'd like to find the bathroom. I'm not fluent. Yes, just real quick. If you don't want to talk to me, just. Alright, cool. So were you really awkward that first date when you went over and were? That's a nightmare, right? Yeah. That helps. Yeah. I quit drinking myself, which is it's been weird. I quit drinking when my ex-girlfriend broke up with me, and then I recorded an album about it. It'll be out, it's out today. I quit drinking, and it's very weird. It's tough for me to talk about quitting drinking because, I don't know, like I have a lot of friends that are like trying to quit drinking now, and they ask for advice, like, how did you do it? And I have to say, well, you know, what worked for me was just not being genetically predisposed to addiction really helped. I have no good advice. It's tough because it's just like I stopped drinking because I was depressed. So it's hard to talk about. I was on a date with a woman one time. We were at a rock show, and I said to her, do you want a drink? And she said, no, I'm okay. Just pause for a minute. And she said, do you ever think about drinking again? And I said, no, I don't think about drinking. No, I think about killing myself way more than I think about drinking. I really ruined the night. I really ruined the night. Similarly, I was at a party with my friend Kate, and she said, why'd you quit drinking? And I said, I'm just like super suicidal, and I figure if I stop drinking, it'll take longer. It was really awkward. And so I said, I should probably just say for my health, right? And she was like, yeah, that's better. Say that from now on. It's weird, yeah. Quit drinking. I was at the top of my game. I was the best drinker I ever was when I quit. Man, I had some rough years. I think one of the first years I realized that I was drinking too much was I was out walking on the street and I saw a guy that worked at a liquor store I used to go to, and I was like, oh, it's the guy from the liquor store. And I realized that I was having the same emotional response I used to have when I was a kid and I would see my teachers outside of school. That can't be a good sign. But I got better. Eventually, I hit a drinking milestone at one point where I thought this was a big milestone. I got to the point where I could afford more drinks than I wanted to drink. Well, that was pretty good. You know, so like it used to be like just counting out quarters for that last PBR. I've been working in the bottom rung of the entertainment industry my whole life. I used to work at a record store, and sometimes we would go to events with open bars, and like I would have to take days off after that was going to happen. So I was like, I am not letting this financial opportunity pass me by. But it's been good. It's been good not drinking. I think the one drawback of it is, this really sucked, was that I quit drinking And after it had been like a year, I hadn't had anything to drink. I was still a fucking idiot. It sucked. I was really hoping that it was going to be the drinking that was doing it. And no, I'm just all the undealt with mental illness. So it's just going to take a long time. Cool. Anyways, online dating. You guys love it? Anyone else have any online dating thing they want to talk about? Cool. I like online dating because of that, because you don't have to, it's like an introduction already, so you don't have to like go up to someone at a bar and bother them. So I like that. I like, what's up? Oh yeah. Do you wanna add? I'm not like calling you up for talking during my big show. Like I'm just honestly, if you want to interact on it. I'm not hitting on you. I mentioned I'm not good at that, but I'm not this bad at it. All right, cool. I think that this is the way to do online dating. I think this is the way to do it. Is what's that? On stage. On stage? Yes. All right. Yeah. Actually, good point. Everyone, if you have any of the apps, go on right now. Slide your area that you're looking all the way down. Slide your age all the way up. That should come up. Let's make a connection. This is the way to do it. I think is the way I do it, and that is that I date women, and it's cool. It's really cool. They're very nice. Do you want to hear about like my worst online dating date ever? Yes. It's like the worst date I ever went on. So I was talking to this woman online, and she invited me over her house. I went over, and when I got there, she's like really drunk. And I said, all right, well, I don't want to be rude. Hang out for a few minutes, I'll make an excuse, I'll leave. And then she said, do you want to watch a movie? And I thought, perfect. She'll put on a movie, she'll probably just fall asleep. I can excuse myself to leave, it'll be great. Then she said, have you ever seen the movie 24-Hour Party People? Yeah, and I said, no, but I've always wanted to. And she said, all right, she put it on, and almost immediately she fell asleep, and I fell in love with this movie. A fantastic movie. I watched the entire thing. When it was done, I left and I went home. And that was the worst online dating date I've ever been on. Yeah, dating women is cool. They almost never murder you. I like it. I've noticed a lot of stuff on the dating apps. I've noticed that some people on the dating apps will very explicitly say not looking for a hookup, which I understand. Boot to saying that or boot to me understanding?
The former.
The former? Okay. This is my opinion on it. I understand it, but I do think it is. It's a weird level of confidence, you know? It's hard for me not to read it as, I know for sure you want to fuck me once, but not twice, you know? Not like I'm not going to judge someone for having a weird level of confidence. I mean, look at me. I'm on stage talking about how I'm sexy. I'm 5'4". I look not like I do manual labor, but like I'm in a play about manual labor. And not a good play. Yeah. This is like my level of confidence. You know, sometimes you'll see someone wearing like red jeans, and you'll say, I could never pull that off, but it looks good on them. I have the opposite, where I'll see someone wearing red jeans, and I'll say, nope, But I can pull that off. You know? I just have a weird level of confidence. Another thing I've noticed on the dating apps is sometimes people on the dating apps will write people of color to the front. And usually it's people of color who will put this on their profiles. And basically what they're saying is though they're not closed off to dating other people, they're mainly interested in people whose lives are going to be able to relate to them and their experience more closely, which I think is reasonable. Sometimes though, you'll also see people of color to the front on the profiles of people who are white, which I think is so brave. To publicly admit that you fetishize an entire people. You know, that's really something. I don't know. I will admit that I have not dated very many women of color myself, and I think there's a lot of reasons for that. I think I don't tend to pursue women of color very much, and the main reason is, my opinion on women of color is they have it hard enough already. That's right, I am a 40-something-year-old man, and I have 41. I don't know why I was trying to make it more general. You're right. Specification is the heart of comedy. I'm 41 years old. 41 years. Oh, that's how I should say that. I'm 41. As a 41-year-old white man, I have opinions on race, and my opinions are wrong. I don't know how they're wrong. A lot of my opinions are wrong. I know like some I do know. Like I know like in 5 years, like I'm gonna be like, oh, I shouldn't have called everyone crazy. Because right now I call everyone crazy. But in 5 years I'm like, ooh, that was a mistake. But a lot of them I just don't know yet, you know? Race is a weird thing to talk about as an old white man. I was talking to someone from Philadelphia, and I made a joke about Philadelphia being a racist city, and she got really offended, which really took me aback, you know? Being from Boston, you know, like, people are like, your city's racist. I'm like, yeah, what are you gonna do, you know? It's weird to me, and she was so, and I thought of Philadelphia as a racist city just because of stories Philadelphia comedians have told me. But I was like, you know, it's not a racist, and she was like, no, Philadelphia's not racist. I thought, like, I mean, maybe it's not as racist as Boston, but it is still an American city, right? It is still a city in this racist country, isn't it? A lot of my tour guide friends are here tonight, which is fun. Thank you so much, I appreciate it. I'm a tour guide on Boston's Freedom Trail, which is a lot of fun. Award-winning tour guide, by the way. And I used to have the most positive online reviews of any tour guide until some fucking lady showed up. Thanks for coming, I appreciate it. But this is a thing I like to do at shows sometimes. Does anyone want to ask me questions about the city of Boston? I'll do my best to answer them. This will be great because if I get it wrong, there's a lot of people here who will call me on it.
Why is it called Boston?
Great question. It is called Boston because it was founded mainly by a group of people who came from a place in England called Boston. They were not creative people. They named everything after something in England, or they kept the native name, or they just named it after like what it was. You know, like Beacon Hill. That was the hill that had the beacon on it. Next. That's a great question. Like, I know it's named after him, but why did they name it after him? That's a good question. I think that, do you know this answer? Do you have a history podcast, you know?
I have no idea. I've been trying to find out.
Yeah, I've never been able to figure out, I knew it's named after that guy, but I don't know why What do you think would be a good name for Alston?
Glass City.
Glass City?
Yeah.
There's a lot of broken glass. I think that I personally think they should rename the neighborhood. I have my own idea of what I think the Alston should be renamed to. I think it should be called BU West Campus. Like not Lower Alston, which should be Harvard East. Yes. Harvard South. Anyone else? Any questions? Oh, back here.
Why do people like the Freedom Trail?
Why do people like the Freedom Trail? Because they're fucking suckers. They're fucking suckers. We do it because it's fun. It's like a bunch of historic stuff that's like really close together, which is kind of unusual, you know? It's cool. Just a lot of stuff is still here, you know? Our city hasn't burned down in a long time, so still a lot of stuff. Back here?
Are there any parts of the trail that are not really the trail?
Oh yeah, there's tons of stuff that's like along the trail that isn't like actually part of the trail. I think we all talk about stuff that's not officially part of the trail. Like the Parkhurst Hotel is really cool. It's the longest continually operating hotel in the U.S., which is very specific language. There's stuff like I don't know. There's like a Benjamin Franklin statue because we love here in Boston. We love more than anything statues of people that are on the record as hating our city. Behind that is the old city hall, which is cool. There's the Pie Alley. Which is they used to sell pies there. That's why it's called that. It's spelled P-I, but it's after the food pie. And what? Yeah.
I was just gonna say, tell us about the character you play.
Oh, the character I play doesn't matter really. But the character I play a character named Isaiah Thomas, which is there are two famous basketballs named Isaiah. It's not basketballs. Basketball people. I don't know a lot about sports. There are two famous basketball players named Isaiah Thomas. And so it's funny that I have that name and I'm very short. To be fair, the second Isaiah Thomas, who played briefly for the Celtics, is probably the shortest person in the NBA. And people are like, you're the same height, but I met him, he is taller than me. He's like 5'8". He towers over me. But yeah, I play Isaiah Thomas, but I play that character because when I got the job, my friend Matt Wilding was my boss, and when I was trying to figure out a character, he was just adamant that I play a character who was historically short. That's what he sees when he looks at me. He's just like, short. Nothing else. So now I've been playing that character for 10 years, and it really doesn't matter. I was giving a tour recently, and I was going into this burial ground. There's this guy, Jimmy, that hands up folders with stuff there. And as I walk in, he says, "Hey, Rob." And then he says, oh, I'm sorry. I mean, Isaiah. And I said, "It doesn't matter. My character is so thin you can see me through it." Then I walk in the burial ground and I run into the same guy, Matt Wilding, who now works for a different company, and he's walking up a path and he sees me, he says, "Oh, hey Rob." Sorry, Isaiah. And I was like, "It doesn't matter." And the group laughed. It was funny there. It's not funny now, I guess. Oh, but then I did tell the group a funny story about Matt. This is my friend Matt Wilding. We're very close friends. He's not here tonight, so I guess not as close as I thought. By the way, I want to thank everyone that came tonight, but I also want to thank everyone that didn't text me to tell me they weren't coming. Before the show, I was so nervous no one was going to show up, and I was away getting prepared someplace away from here, and I just kept getting message after message from people telling me they were not coming. Which was, they're like trying to be nice. Yeah, I mean they're trying to be nice. They're like, "Oh no, it'll be. I want to let them know that I'm supporting him, but it won't be there." But really, I'm just hearing, "No one's coming. You're a loser. Everyone hates you." Probably not true. Does anyone know what time it is? Okay, cool. So I gotta wrap this up. I was like, I'm just gonna go up there with no plan, and it went okay. Right? Which is what I always do, but just usually not for this long. All right. Does anyone have any requests?
Marty McFly.
Okay.
Cold Sam Adams.
Okay. Oh, Cold Sam Adams is a tour guide joke.
I know.
All right, ready? This is not going to work because we're not in front of the... Set the scene. 1776. The troops have... So this is a tour guide joke. So the Samuel Adams grave is in the Granary Burial Ground, which is across the street from the Beantown pub. And the joke that you do is you say Samuel Adams beer, the most popular, the largest American-owned beer company, one of the most popular beers in the country. You get a Samuel Adams beer almost anywhere, but right across the street at the Beantown pub is the only place in the world where you can enjoy a cold Sam Adams while looking at a cold. And then then after I say, not a great joke, but as a tour guide in Boston, I am obligated by law to tell it. But it is a great joke. I love it. It's very funny. Yeah, it's a good joke. Samuel Adams. Do you know the old label for Samuel Adams used to have a picture of a colonial guy drinking a mug of beer? Do you know who that colonial guy was? Not Isaiah Thomas. Good guess. Not Isaiah Thomas. Not Samuel Adams. It's actually Paul Revere. And you might ask why, and the answer is Samuel Adams, great patriot, sure, but not a great looking guy. Very severe looking, terrible dresser. Have you ever seen that Batman movie where Danny DeVito plays the Penguin? That's what Samuel Adams looked like. But Paul Revere, on the other hand, Paul Revere, unbelievably good looking. I mean, 16 kids, right? So that's the fact. Paul Revere, he actually resembles the man that today we would consider to be our most handsome Hollywood actor.
John Hamm.
Jack Black, very handsome actor. Right? He looks exactly like Jack Black. That's a tour guide joke. Huh? That was a very weird response. Huh. Jack Black. Oh, did you just look it up? Or no? Wait. Everyone just take a moment and look it up on your phone. Look up Copley, Paul Revere. All right, Back to the Future. All right, I'm not going to do the whole Back to the Future joke. This is when I first started doing comedy. I was terrible at it. Back then, my comedy was a lot like, I love John Paul Rivera, check out Nick Earl on his chin, stuff like that. It wasn't great. But I had one thing that did really well, which is I had a joke where I would do an impression of Marty McFly from Back to the Future. Well, it wasn't exactly Marty McFly. It was an impression of Back to the Future Abraham Lincoln. So it was like Abraham Lincoln, but as Marty McFly. I'm not gonna do the joke. What I'll just do for you instead is I'll just do the Gettysburg Address. All right, here we go. 7 years ago, our forefathers conceived this nation of liberty on the proposition that all men are great people. Now we are engaged in a great civil war. Test whether this nation or any other nation will love endure. Maybe that Emancipation Proclamation was too much for you guys. Trust me. Your kids are gonna love it. Someone else said one other thing. What was the last thing? Oh, Pete's face. Oh yeah. So I'm vegan. I'll do a couple jokes about being vegan, then I'll leave. I know, yeah, boo. I love being vegan. I hate talking about being vegan though, because whenever you're like, I'm vegan, people are like, you're one of those jerk off people. You're one of those jerk off people. Yeah, you're like a jerk off person. You're just like jerking off. I just want want to eat. I just want to eat this stuff. I don't know. I do. It's a lot easier being vegan now than when I started. Like there's so many things that you miss being vegan. Like I think everyone vegan will say this. I miss. I used to miss pizza. Actually, this is funny. When I was in high school, this is true. I love pizza so much. My nickname was Pizza Face. There's better vegan pizza. Burger King has the Impossible Whopper, which is so cool because I think every vegan will say this. One of the things that I've always missed is Whopper farts. You can get that Impossible Whopper at Burger King. You can get it vegan. You just have to ask for it without mayonnaise. That's the trick. So I went to Burger King and I ordered a Whopper without mayonnaise. So then I got the Whopper and it had mayonnaise on it. So I went back to the counter and I said, "Oh, I'm really sorry, I ordered this Whopper without mayonnaise. It has mayonnaise on it." And they said, "Okay, sure." So I waited again, brought the Whopper again. This time it was like way more mayonnaise. So I went up again and I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I ordered this Whopper without mayonnaise, it has mayonnaise." And the person behind the counter said, "Oh, I thought you said only mayonnaise." And I looked down and I realized that it was just the buns, lettuce, mayonnaise, and nothing else. And the weirdest thing to me is that lettuce made the cut. Why only lettuce? And I said, "Oh no, I no mayonnaise." And I said, "Okay." So then as I'm waiting for the third Whopper to come out, a kid behind the counter starts going, "My order isn't right! My order isn't right!" It's like, if he had been half as rude, I might have been upset. But he was so rude that I was like, "I like your style." People ask me why I became vegan. I became vegan for the same reason that anyone becomes vegan. I was dating a girl. And a lot of people think that being vegan is like a healthy life choice. And I am here to tell you it is not. Since I became vegan, I have gained 35 pounds. So being vegan makes you fat. It's Tom McDonald. Yeah, being vegan makes you fat. It's either being vegan or it's going from being 19 to 41. One of those things makes you fat though, and I don't suggest you do any of them. Guys, thank you so much. Albums for sale in the back. It's $10. You can get it on deadmellow.com. I'm really proud of it. It's real sad, but I think it's also really funny. And it isn't actually a bummer. It's actually fun to listen to, even though it's sad. But thank you guys so much. Please welcome back to the stage my dear friend, the wonderful John Paul Rivera.
Get that album, people. I bought one, so you're obligated to buy one, too. This show happens every single Friday. Special show tomorrow, right, Rob?
What's that?
There's a show tomorrow, right?
Oh, no. Yeah, show tomorrow at the 7:30 Tavern at like 8 or 9.
Forget I said anything. It's too complicated. But shows happen here every Friday night. Thanks for coming out. Please go back. I'm going to close out this show at the Gas the way we close out every show at the Gas, by singing the Anderson comedy theme song. I just thought about how it's been probably half a year, so hopefully I remember. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good night, students. We appreciate your presence in our city on a hill. Good night, students. Please don't tell for the gas before the hail. Good night, students. We appreciate your presence on our city island.
No, well, what did you say?
Oh, there's a chance at
Man, I'll slow that.
I'm in Hudson. Ian's going to show us. Yes. Well, I'll be in it. I'm going to be in
I've been coming here for years, but I've never seen that.